Shalom, peace and blessings to the people out there watching and those who praise Yahweh. So today we're going to get into another, lesson, mainly dealing with the wisdom scriptures and dealing with women, all right? So today we're going to go over the importance or the role of women to a house, to a bayat, or to a family, okay? All right, so when we look at our culture, right, within the scriptures, we see that women have a role within the house, within the family. Even when you look at Eve, or Hawa, as we call her, you'll see that Adam was told to name all the animals and stuff like that, and there was found no helper for Adama. So Hawa, Eve, was created to be his helper. All right. And this is where we, how we see the creation of women in their roles as helpers to their husbands or to their men. Now, we see that echoed throughout the scriptures in our culture as Yasharahlian, or as some would say, Yasharahla. All right. So in this culture, in this, lens that we see within the scriptures, we see women are creators and multipliers and wealth builders, okay? Now, you could go to Proverbs chapter 31 to read more on that, okay? And the women that I'm talking about, just to be clear, are women that are what we would call righteous, women that follow after the ways of Yahweh in his laws, okay? Not just, not every woman, okay? But in the way that women are supposed to be, they're supposed to be like this. It's just in this captivity, we got derailed and certain things happen to us, and it's not so. But this is the way that women are supposed to be, and you do have women out there like this. So these are the women that I'm talking about. All right, so as I said, women are creators that multiplies and wealth builders, as we see in the scriptures. If you give a woman a raw product, she will create something or multiply it, okay? Now, what do I mean? Women multiply or add to your house by adding babies, which is humans, which accounts for laborers or laborers, okay? Which also accounts for strength if she has sons to the house, and production when she adds women to the house, okay? Also nurturing when she adds women, okay? Women, children, or baby girls, okay? So women have their role, and they're very important, just like men are very important, okay? So women add or multiply to your house by adding babies. When you put seed in her, she brings forth a human. All right, this is the programming that the Most High put in her and in the man. She's like the earth. If you put a seed into the earth has the products, the raw products in the earth to make that seed into a plant to bring forth nourishment for humans. It has the minerals, it has the soil, it has the worms. All right, that creates the nutrients for the earth to bring forth that plant, so that we can eat it or use it for healing or whatever. The woman is the same way, okay? You put a seed in her, you put a seed in her or a sperm, you have sex with her, and her body creates a human baby, whether it be male or female, which adds to your family, which adds either strength or production or nurturer to your family, or protector to your family. All right? That's how she multiplies. Okay. Another way, if you give her resources, she will produce a product. Like if you give her raw food, she will produce a dinner or a breakfast or a lunch. Okay, this is what women naturally do, and they do it very well. Okay. Something that they should be commended for. This is what the Most High created them for, and how he created them, and this is how they are. Okay, for the most part. All right. They are creators and multipliers, and also wealth builders. Wealth builders, you go to Proverbs chapter 31 and you'll see. Okay. A lot of women are very artistic, and they could take things from scratch and just make something. All right. It's a trait that a lot of women have. Most of the women that I've been with, that's how they were. So that's where I'm getting that experience from. All right, so women add to the house they are in. Okay, whatever the house they're in, they add to it. Right now in America, it says that black women, okay, Yasharahlian women, are the most educated in America. They hold the most degrees and they have the most jobs. Why? Because women are workers. They work. All right, that's what they do. They build, they work, they multiply, they build wealth. If they're gonna do it for their husband, for their father, or for their whatever corporation they work for, that's just it's just in them. Just like men are just protectors, we protect. Okay, we protect and lead. Women are nurturers and they are builders. Okay. All right. So whatever house they're gonna add to, whatever house they're in, whatever family they are a part of, they're gonna do whatever they can to build, create, multiply that family. Okay? This is their function and why they are important in our culture as wives and mothers. So let's just read a couple scriptures to make it quick. Sirach 36:24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. He begins a possession. Okay? All right. If he gets a wife. A help like unto himself. Why? Because she's a helper. She's going to help him. She's going to build, multiply, create, and build wealth for his family. She is a pillar of rest. All right. That's that nurturing part of women. Where no hedges, there the possession is spoiled. All right. Meaning a man must protect her. And he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning. Okay. So if a man don't have a wife, he gonna be a mourner. He gonna angry and all that shit like that. Okay. Sirach chapter 26, verse 20. When thou hast gotten a faithful possession through all the field, sow it with thine own seed, trusting in the goodness of thy stock. All right, so this is symbolic. It says, when thou hast gotten a fruitful possession. What is that? Through all the field. What is that? It's talking about your woman. Okay, and when you get a woman, and she's, when it says fruitful possession, meaning that she's very fertile, you know, being able to have children, it says to sow it with thine own seed. What does that mean? It means to, you know, get her pregnant. Trusting in the goodness of thy stock, trusting in the goodness of your family. All right. So basically it's in a symbolic way. It's equating women to the earth. If you get a field, right, and it's a good field and you see a lot of things growing on it, what are you going to do? You're going to sow it. You're going to put seeds in it to sustain you so that you can eat food. Well, it's the same thing. When you get a wife and she's fruitful, you go ahead and you sow her with seed. You put, not trying to be nasty now, but you put sperm in her. And you build your family because she's the beginning of your possessions. Why? It doesn't say she's the beginning of your possession because she is going to bring you more and more and more and more. Okay? She is going to multiply and create. Okay? She's going to multiply your family. Your family is your possession. Your wife is going to bring you sons and daughters, which is going to bring you wealth, which is going to bring you help, which is going to bring you strength, which is going to bring you nurturers and workers and stuff like that to make your family strong and productive. Okay? All right, so when thou hast gotten a fruitful possession through all the field, sow it with thine own seed, trusting in the goodness of thy stock, so thy race, which thou leavest, shall be magnified. Okay? Having the confidence of their good descent. So your children, which you're going to leave behind, which started with this woman, which she multiplied you and your family. Okay? You're going to leave a good race. And that good race or your good family is going to have confidence in their good descent. Okay, it's very important to choose or pick a good woman. All right. This is Sirach 22 and this is 4. I'm sorry I didn't put the number. Sirach 22 and 4. A wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband. Okay, because that's what women do. A wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband. Proverbs 13 and 22. In turn, that husband is going to leave it to the children. But Proverbs 13 and 22. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children. Okay? So this is the beginning of your possession, being the wife. The wife multiplies your possessions, being your children. She multiplies you by bringing forth sons and daughters. Those sons and daughters will multiply, okay, bringing you more sons and daughters, what will eventually turn into a tribe or a nation. Okay, now going deeper into it, okay, the woman comes into your family, she multiplies you, all right. She creates from the raw products that you give her, okay, bringing wealth to your family, all right, and she builds wealth. Now, with those children, the sons will become your strength. Okay, it's spoken about in the scriptures that your firstborn is the beginning of your strength, because all male sons, okay, are your strength. They are the protectors. They are the army or the military of your family. Okay, they are the protectors of your family and the wealth of your family. And the daughters are the multipliers of that wealth. Okay, the daughters will go out. You give them flax, you give them material. They'll go and sow and make garments and sell them. You give them seeds. They'll sow the seeds in the fields, and they'll get plants, and they'll sell those and bring wealth to your family. And that's how it works. That's how women are. Okay, so good. And then you as a man, you in turn, you leave that inheritance of the things that you built with you and this woman or these women. If you have multiple wives, you leave those to your children. Okay. So let's go to Proverbs chapter 31, and then we'll end it right there. All right. Proverbs 31, and we'll start at 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doeth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. Okay. She will do him good and not evil all the days of his life. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. Meaning what? She seek raw products of wool and flax, and she makes something with it. She is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat unto her household. Meaning she cooks. And a portion to her maidens, meaning her servants. She considereth a field, and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands she planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candles goeth not out at night. What is her merchandise? She takes raw products, makes merchandise, makes a product, okay, and sells it. All right. Thereby bringing wealth to her family. She led her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretcheth out her hands to the poor. Yeah, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy. What is that? That's her nurturing side. Okay. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. Okay. Scarlet being a fine, well, scarlet being a very expensive ink at the time. All right. This is generalizing wealth. She maketh herself coverings and tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Purple was also very expensive at the time, coming from the Phoenicians. All right. Of Tyre, if I'm not mistaken. And it was very expensive. Only kings can afford purple. It came from well, that's another lesson. It says her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders of the land. Now, this is important as well. Her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders of the land. Now, when we got married, in those days, there was a crown placed upon the woman's head, and it signified her being the crown of her husband. Now, a crown represented glory, okay? It was something that brought you glory, okay? Something that brought you praise. And that's what the wife signifies in our culture. The word for a daughter-in-law is the same word for a crown. Now, I can't remember the word offhand. Matter of fact, I'll go get it now. Hold on. Okay, so let's read that Proverbs again. Where was it? Verse 23, Proverbs 31 and 23. Her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders. Right. Now, I was talking about the crown. The woman in our culture is a crown to her husband, okay? And a crown represents something that brings you glory, honor, praise, and everything like that. It was something that kings wore. Now, in our language, the word for a bride is kala, all right? Kala, H3618, it means a bride, a daughter-in-law, or a spouse. She is called Kala because at marriage, a crown is placed on her head. Her title of Kala comes from the word. Her title of Kala comes from the word Kalala, all right, which means completed or made perfect. All right, the second meaning is to place a crown on one's head. Now, when you read Proverbs 12 and 4, it says a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh a shame is a rottenness of his bones. Okay. Okay, main point is woman is a crown to her husband. All right. And that is directly in our culture. So, Proverbs 31 and 23. Her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders of the land. Your woman, your wife, the wife, okay, brings about glory and honor to her husband. This is also what she multiplies. Okay. It says, she maketh fine linen and selleth it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchants. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in the time to come. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness. Okay. Another trait of woman, usually, okay, is kindness. The law of kindness. And all this goes back to the law. That's why you read about Susanna, yeah. Shoshana. All right. She was raised by her father and her mother in the law. And she was honored for that. She was known for that. And her husband was known to have a beautiful and honorable wife. And that brought him also praise and glory and honor. Okay. All right. She looketh well to the ways of her household, meaning she watches over her house, and eateth not the bread of idleness, meaning she not just doing nothing. Her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. For favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gate. So that's it. So the point is, the woman's role and importance within the Israelite family, Yasharahlian family, is that of being creators, multipliers, and wealth builders. Okay? She has her place. You have your place as an Israelite woman. Don't let nobody tell you no different. Okay? And as an Israelite woman, when you get married, you become a crown to your husband. Okay? You become that which brings him honor and glory. How? Because you multiply him and his family. You bring him strength by bringing forth sons. You bring him how do I say this? You bring him nurturers and producers and multiplies by bringing him daughters. Okay? And you give him a good descent by you being yourself a good woman and following the laws of the Most High and honoring your husband at all times. And if you do these things, then you shall be praised as a woman. And your husband will be praised because your husband is reflected in everything you do. All right, so with that, I'm Karatas. I want to say Kahala Yahweh. Peace and blessings to the brothers and sisters out there that watch and that believe in the Most High and that are of the children of Yasharahla, children of Israel. All right, with that, I say Shalom.